Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm reviewing a pen from a brand I've not looked at. It is this brand, Wingback. So Wingback is a company based in London, and they're quite well known for making a really fantastic mechanical pencil and ballpoint pen, but their fountain pen, since the moment I first saw it, has struck me as something that is just beautifully made, simply engineered, and a really awesome EDC style sort of option. So that's what we're looking at today. I had the stainless steel fountain pen in here, but I wanted to show the packaging because I think it's absolutely awesome. So this particular cardboard sort of packaging that the pen comes in is made from like recycled coffee cups and that kind of stuff. This is a nice little sort of quote. We design useful everyday tools. Responsibly built for the long haul, they are made from exceptional materials that will only improve as they age. Enjoy your Wingback and put it to good use on your journeys through the city, on the road, and for many years to come. So they pride themselves on the quality of their workmanship, of being, as you can see, sort of sustainable here with recycled coffee cup packaging and all those kinds of things. Let's have a look at the pen. So let's open this up and pull this sleeve out here. And here is the pen sitting in a really very cool black, I believe it's made of cork, little stand here. And this is a pen stand to use on your desk and all that kind of stuff. I think it's great. A little bit more sort of information in here, a little QR code there to check out the instruction booklet, all that kind of stuff. And then you can see here it says sleeve, and in here is a little sleeve for the pen, which is really nice. Little sort of slot it down sort of in there like that. Very nice. Put it in your pocket if you don't want it to bang against your keys, that kind of thing, or if you just want to store it nice and safe and clean. Really nice way of doing it. This material is nice and sort of durable and robust as well. I'm going to keep this little cork pen stand here because I think it's very nifty, and the pen sits just so beautifully in it. Very aesthetic. So you can see this isn't a huge pen. It is a smaller pen. It's not particularly thick. It's a very simple, clean, sort of almost a sort of minimalist design, a very subtle and nicely done sort of logo there. If the light's going to catch that okay. Wingback written on the top there. And that's on the cap. And then you get a exposed knurled grip section, which is once again beautifully cut. And then you get some posting threads on the end there, and it's good. It is a minimally designed pen. It's designed to be minimalist. It's designed to be small and pocketable, but when it's put together in its full form, like a lot of pocket pens, it becomes a really nice size in the hand. So this is made from aerospace grade 305 stainless steel, and while the brand is based in London, the pens are CNC machined in Birmingham in the UK. So this isn't a mass-produced Chinese pen sold by a UK retailer. This is a pen that is made and thoughtfully designed and everything in the UK. Top of the pen, we get a simple flat top there with a beautifully beveled edge of the cap, and then the entire pen is level and cylindrical all the way down. As I said, you get knurling there, which separates where the cap screws on, which I'll come back to, and separates where the barrel screws onto, which I'll come back to. And then we get to the end, and as I said, there are those sort of posting threads and a flat end. You unscrew the cap and it comes off in about 2.5 turns, which is not a small amount for a EDC pocket pen, but it makes it nice and secure. And there's a little O-ring just there at the end of the section, which that locks down onto, so it's super, super secure. It then posts onto those posting threads on the end there in, once again, that 1, 2, or just over two turns, like maybe 2.25 turns. So, is once again very secure, and as you can see, it comes in at a nice size. The section is that knurled section there. So if you don't like texture under your fingers, this may not be the pen for you, but what that allows is for a really nice grip on the pen, and it sort of is very sturdy and stable in your fingers. There's a little step down onto the threads, but they won't get in the way because they are at the end of the section. And then we get this 076 monoiridium nib from Bock. And it's a nice nib. It's smaller than a number 6 size nib, but as you see when you see it alongside like a number 5 sort of size nib, it's a bit bigger than that as well. It's an interesting sort of size, and it's got a nice simple plastic feed there. As I said, you unscrew the barrel at the other end of the section, and it comes with a simple black cartridge, and I'm almost worked through a lot of that. Been riding with this for a few weeks now, and I've really enjoyed riding with it. Another O-ring just there on the end, at the end of those threads, to make sure that the cap's down. It is stainless steel, so yes, you can eyedropper it. I would say just be careful about what inks you use when you eyedropper a stainless steel pen. It should be fine, but just be aware and keep an eye on everything. But it does secure down nicely. Unfortunately, it is just a little too small for a converter. Even the converter here from Kaweco, that's sort of a foldable converter. But it does use a standard international short cartridge, and I suggest refilling those after you've used them, and sort of give them a second life, as well as a nice, simple, easy way of refilling this pen. The fountain pen from Wingback comes in a number of different materials. As I said, I have it here in the stainless steel. It also comes in brass, and then a black steel and a titanium finish as well. I don't have a lot of stainless steel pens, so I jumped at the opportunity of trying this model. And one thing I can say is I really love the weight of it. It feels substantial in the hand. You never feel like it's going to disappear in your pocket. It's always there, and that nice generous weight, which I'll talk about in just a minute, is really comfortable. And that knurling is also really nice. It's diamond cut knurling, and it creates a nice sort of symmetrical sort of design on the pen, and makes it a really lovely sort of pen to also just sort of have in your hand. Another nice feature of this pen is that you can get it engraved. It costs a few extra pounds, I think it's maybe £10, but you can get it engraved on the barrel of the pen as well. So, you can personalize, and anytime you're getting a pen sort of personalized, obviously it makes it a great gift option, because you can make it something that is personal to the person you are gifting it to. Okay, for the size comparison today, I have a range of pens I want to show it alongside. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show it alongside a couple of other interesting pocket pens. So the first one is the Big Idea Design EDC, which is a little shorter but definitely girthier. It also is one of those pens that sort of posts onto the end. In this case, it posts onto a little sort of notch on the end there, and it's nice and secure, but it is another sort of these same sort of style of pocket pen. Here is the Milim Pro brass pocket pen. This is one I've had and used a lot over the years. It's really beautiful, simple brass pen, but it has that same sort of feature of posting on the end there. I'll show these in different formats in just a second as well. And then I've got the Kaweco Lilliput, of course, which is another small pen, but does that same thing of screwing onto the end. And you can see that the Wingback is longer than all of those, and it makes it a sort of a nice sort of comfortable size in the hand and pocket, but without sort of being too small. And for the sake of the record, here are all those pens posted. So the Big Idea pen comes out slightly longer, but the Wingback is there longer than the Milim and the Kaweco Lilliput. Now, before we get onto the rest of the proper size comparison, I want to show it also alongside here. This is the Model 10 pocket pen, the Quokka Model 10 from Platypus Pens here in Australia. And I also wanted to show it alongside this. This is the Muji aluminium fountain pen, the old style one. There is a new style aluminium fountain pen from Muji, which I'll be showing on this channel at some point in the future. I just picked one up in China. At the moment, I think it's only exclusive to certain parts of the world. But I wanted to show it alongside particularly the Muji, because I did a little short of this, and a number of people, both on YouTube here, but also on Instagram and a couple of other platforms, sort of commented that it was similar to the Muji. So I want to kind of talk about a couple of basic differences, but I am going to do a full comparison of these two pens. I'm actually going to film it straight after I film this review, but it won't go live for a little while after that. But yes, you can see it is considerably shorter there than the Muji. It's a little bit longer there than the Quokka in this sort of, capped form. Uncapped, it's not dissimilar in length to the Quokka, but the Quokka has a number 6 size nib and is much girthier. But it is a lot shorter there than the uncapped Muji. The Muji is a usable length at this uncapped length, whereas the Wingback is just a little too short for anything more than, ticking something off a to-do list. And then in posted length, the Model 10 Quokka is a little bit longer. The Muji is considerably longer. And, they are a similar sort of size. There's a few sort of similarities. But just while we have them here, let's just run over a couple of basic major differences. Stainless steel, aluminium, basically handmade or at least machined in the UK, mass-produced in China. The weight difference, the Wingback weighs almost double the amount of the Muji. It uses a number, it's kind of like a 5.5 Bock nib versus a number 5 Schmidt nib. The knurling length is different. The Wingback is about 1 millimeter thicker than the Muji. The Muji has a clip, whereas there's no clip on the Wingback. And the Muji does that sort of what I call nesting post, which there's a little ring in there and you slide the cap into that ring and it sits in there. Whereas the Wingback is that threaded posting, which makes it very secure. It's an extra step a lot of people don't enjoy, but those are some of the basic differences. Yes, they both use standard international cartridges. Yes, they both have German-made nibs. And yes, they are both primarily cylindrical minimalist pens with exposed knurling, but calling one a copy of the other, I think, is a stretch. Okay, now we have the standard size comparison with the Lamy Safari and the Kaweco Sport. Pocket pen, full-size pen. This sits vaguely in the middle of those in terms of length, but it is considerably narrower than both. Uncapped length, both the Wingback and the Kaweco are definitely on the shorter side, but I have to stress, this is not the intended length of using the pen. There are so many people who take the cap off the Kaweco Sport and say, oh gosh, it's short, and they haven't put it on the end there. So just, that is a thing. And then the uncapped Safari, but if we bring these up to their initial sort of writing length, which is the Lamy unposted is a very comfortable pen. You see both of those are slightly longer there than the Lamy Safari, but of course the Lamy Safari also does post, which makes it considerably longer. The Lamy Safari also has a triangular grip section, and the Wingback stainless steel fountain pen is cylindrical. Okay, let's now talk dimensions of the Wingback fountain pen. It is 117 millimeters when it is capped. It's 95 when it's uncapped, so it is very small. You can tick something off a list, you can maybe jot down a phone number or something, but you definitely wouldn't want to be using it for a long time in that format. And then when it is posted, it's 138, which makes it exceptionally comfortable. Around the grip section and the entire length of the pen, it is 1 centimeter or 10 millimeters around it. So for those people, it's not a slim pen. I don't put that into the slim pen category. For me, under 10 millimeters is that slim category. 10 puts it into that 10 to 11, which is sort of like the almost to 12 is an average sort of size, and above that is oversized. So this is a nice, comfortable grip section. I've never felt this to be slim in my hand. Very comfortable, and that weight is superb. The entire pen weighs 39 grams. 23 of that is in the body of the pen and 16 of that is in the cap, but it is its intended writing length. There is a little bit of weight there at the back, but it sits nice and sort of into the webbing of the hand. There's enough weight in the entire pen for it to feel very comfortable and natural in your hand. Okay, let's do a writing sample now with the Wingback. This is Clairefontaine 90 GSM paper, so very nice paper. And we have the Wingback stainless steel fountain pen. This has as I said, it's a 076 Bock, and I have it in a medium. It also comes from Wingback in extra fine, medium, broad, and like I think it's a double broad or something. On 1.5 maybe, I can't exactly remember. there's a wide range of nibs. It'll be on their website, and I'll link to their website down below, by the way, as well. Let's do this. Oh, the ink, I should say, is just the black cartridge that came with the pen, and I've been running with this for like a couple of weeks on and off. I will say I left this pen just capped sitting on my desk for over a week, and it wrote absolutely perfectly the moment I picked it up. No hard starts, nothing, straight up, straight in. So well done to Wingback, which means like those O-rings are doing their job of sealing off that grip section. Okay, the writing. It writes really consistently. It's quite smooth. There's a little hint of sort of feedback, which I find from a lot of Bock nibs, but I could easily sort of smooth that out and maybe make it a touch wetter if I wanted to. Like, it's definitely not a dry writer. I would like it to be just a hair wetter myself. Reverse writing is not great. It's definitely not a nib that's designed for that. It's also not a flex nib, but you can squeeze just a little bit of line variation out of it if you're careful, and that does lay down a lot of ink, which is good. Quick writing. I have no issue with how this pen writes at all. Okay, so before we talk about the pros and cons, let's cover the price. This is not an inexpensive pen, and Wingback are open about that. You know, they often say things like, these are products that are made for quality. They're down to micro millimeters of precision work. They are made in the UK. They're not made in parts of Asia. So we are talking about a quality made precision pen here that is designed to last for years and years, and I think it will. It's beautifully made. It does cost £150, so that's about 315 Australian. But £150 is not an inexpensive pen for a pocket stainless steel turned pen with a steel nib, all that kind of thing. But I think you get a great pen for the money. It's an astoundingly well-made writing instrument, and it writes flawlessly and consistently every time you put the nib to the page. Okay, post-production, Michael, just cutting in here very, very quickly. I just wanted to say that there will be a discount code available to access Wingback products. I will put that link in the video description. So if it's not there, I'll just link back to their website. Once that is all sort of sorted out and arranged, I will include that and the information about it in the video description down below. So let's talk about the pros and cons. Cons. Okay. Firstly, only standard short cartridges, no converter. That's going to be a bit of a downside to some people, but it can be eyedroppered if, as I said, you just be careful about the inks you decide to use. Refill those cartridges, use a blunt syringe or whatever you use, but refill cartridges, give them a few lives as opposed to just using it and throwing it out. It opens up a world of ink to you and makes a pen like this really, really fantastic. There's no clip and no roll stop. So yes, it does roll around a bit. But coming with this little sort of pen stand for your desk, little black cork pen stand, fantastic. So if you want to sit it on your desk, easy. My only other real concern is, and this is the same with any pen, and it's something that we've seen an increase of in recent years, is O-rings everywhere. So you've got an O-ring there on the barrel to sort of lock that down, because metal pens notoriously come undone in your pocket, things like that. Not going to happen here because these O-rings. Now you can replace the O-rings. You can buy these. You can find them at a lot of sort of different kinds of stores, online, brick and mortar, you name it. And it wouldn't be hard to find the right one, but O-rings are something that can give. They can wear out. So just be aware of that. Between the pros and the cons, I'm going to put the price because it's not a cheap pen. This is a luxury piece of, pocket carry, if you will. But it is an exceptionally good quality pen at the price point. And there are lots of pros in their own right. Firstly, that nib writes beautifully and flawlessly every time you put it to the page. It is just a wonderful nib. One of my favorite Bock nibs, I've got to say, probably. I think the build quality and the tolerances and the precision of it are all absolutely fantastic. I think it's very clever putting the knurling, firstly, symmetrically in the pen. I like that. But also, it means that the seams are less noticeable in a way. You know it's going to open there, but those seams are sort of softened by the knurling, which I think is great. I love the clean, simple lines of the pen. Yes, you've got the exposed sort of threads, the exposed knurling and that little bevel, but more or less it is a straight, beautifully made, polished, cleaned pen. And also the branding. I love that simple logo. I think it's a beautiful font for it. I think the placement and the size of it is about right. You don't necessarily notice it in everyday use, but you know it's there. And then the other thing I love is the packaging, including that cork stand there and the sleeve, but this simple, recycled sort of packaging that protects it beautifully in, international transit, all that kind of thing. But also just means that, nothing's wasted. It's nice and elegant. It's well designed. Once again, lovely sort of simple branding and logo, made in England on the bottom there. Bit of information. It's just beautifully done. Wingback have done amazing things here, and they continue to, and their ballpoint pens and their mechanical pencils are fantastic as well. I'm hoping to try a couple of those out a little later in the year. In the meantime, I've really enjoyed this fountain pen and will continue to enjoy using this fountain pen. So this was the Wingback stainless steel fountain pen, and I hope you found this video interesting and useful. Please like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, all that kind of stuff. If you've got products you think I should be looking at, or if there's a way you'd like to support the channel, I'd really love to hear from you. A massive thank you to Wingback for supporting my channel and making this video possible by providing this pen. I really appreciate the support of all the brands that have supported me and also the support I get from you, my viewers. So thank you, everyone. Enjoy your pens, enjoy writing, and I'll talk to you soon.